You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. And that is a quote by Marcus Aurelius, which was a Stoic philosopher. I think a lot of the times we tend to put a bad image over certain things in the world. I think a lot of the times we see objects, things as good and bad versus what is, right? If we look at, for example, the weather, it's raining on a day I was supposed to be outside mowing the lawn, playing football, something like that. And I get angry at the world for it raining. However, if it didn't rain, we wouldn't have plants. We wouldn't have flowers. We wouldn't have the beauty of nature in and of itself. So I think a lot of the times we tend to put our own ideas of what good and bad is onto the world. We tend to put that onto what happens in the world. So I'd put a bad image or a bad philosophy of it raining, right? And I would say it's bad that it's raining. It's bad this, bad that. And I would be angry at the world if I did that. And I think a lot of the times we get angry at the world for little things like that. However, that's going to be taking energy out of us that we could be putting the greater good of humanity, energy that we could be putting into our mission, energy that we could be putting into being, rather than being mad, being grateful, which is going to restore our energy and overall just make us happier. And so I think a key to living happier is to realize that you can't control everything. You can control the thoughts in your mind, and no one else can take that from you. You can control the thoughts in your mind, and nobody can take that from you. If I'm going to be able to control my thoughts, why not have most of my thoughts, if not all my thoughts, being positive, or most of my thoughts enjoying what I have and accepting the world around me for what it is? For example, with YouTube, a lot of the times I tend to care about people's opinions. I tend to care about things they say, and there's a lot of good feedback I can get from comments or from people that I speak to. However, if they just don't like what I do, what I'm doing is truly my purposeful mission. What good does it do me to really care about what they're saying? How's it going to, if I can't change their thoughts no matter what good does it do to even think about the negative thoughts, the comments, stuff like that? And another thing that I learned from this quote is learning how to react to certain situations, because a lot of times we can't control the initial action, whether it's from other people or whether it's from the world, but we can control every bit of how we react, which is the beauty of being a human, is consciously knowing and controlling exactly how we react. How you react when your sibling annoys you, how to react when you have a bad day in the modern world. And so you can control the way you see it, the way you react to it. And so the power honestly is all in the mind, and controlling the reaction and reacting as much as you can with love for the world in and of itself. And another way this quote has helped me is containing that inner peace, even with all the distractions around us in the modern world, containing that inner peace and progressing towards the goals that are actually important to me and doing the things that actually align with my goals. Another quote that really inspires me is from Lao Tzu, and here's what he says: nature does not hurry, but everything is accomplished. So think about that for a second. Think critically for a second here. Nature does not hurry, but everything is accomplished. And so I think that can relate to anything that you're making. For me, it would be business and entrepreneurship, and building that over time. The YouTube channel, building it over time. It shouldn't be a rush to get as much as you can for your own needs. Opening up to the world and providing what is in your nature to the world, and exposing that and opening up to it. And so a lot of the times we have to accept that the goals we have aren't going to happen overnight. We have to plant the tree, and the roots have to grow before the tree starts to grow. And so I think this is a very important lesson, being patient on your goals and being patient overall. And this is a quote from Seneca that I really like. And here's what it says: it is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it. And so with this quote, it makes me think of course, mission and purpose, right? Because any second that we don't spend fulfilling our mission in life as men, fulfilling our purpose in life, is a second wasted. And every second that we don't do that, it turns into complacency. We actually tend to get more lost. We'll get caught up in comfort instead of pursuing something that's harder, but something that when we look back at in the future, we'll really appreciate the choice that we made, the harder choice that we made, the choice to do something different. Within all of our lives, as I said before, we all have a greater purpose. And so any second that you're spending right now, bro, either not knowing your purpose, not knowing your mission, or not working on that mission and knowing it, any second you spend on that, you're wasting time. Valuable time within your life. And it's so easy to get distracted with video games, with things like that. Because at the end of the day, we have one shot, one opportunity. Once that opportunity is gone, it's over. We need to understand what our greater purpose is, and what our greater mission is, and put all of our eggs into that one basket. It sounds insane to you. It sounds crazy to you. But this is the way you get fulfillment, because otherwise you split your attention, you divert your attention, then you don't make progress in the area. And so another thing is, success just shouldn't be measured by material. It shouldn't be measured by money. It shouldn't be measured by how big of a house you have or how many Lamborghinis you have. But it should be measured by your character, by who you are as a man and who you've become and what you've been through. That is the ultimate measure of success. And so we should value personal growth over material success 100% of the time. And the last quote I want to go over is by Marcus Aurelius. And it says, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." And so life is open to interpretation, right? The things that happen, we can either see them as good or bad or as nature itself, right? So if we constantly have negative thoughts, bad thoughts about things, about places, and we lack gratitude, then ultimately our lives are going to be shaped by those negative thoughts. And so it'll be a constant loophole of looking for another reason to be mad, angry at the world, for people to blame, looking for things to blame, instead of looking within and being grateful for the hardships. And so if we don't apply these principles in our thoughts, then our overall character is going to be weakened. We're going to look for external things to fulfill that weakness. We're going to look for external things to blame on for why we didn't make it. Or we're going to find small, insignificant things and harp on those things consistently. It's like the guy who comes home and he's pissed off at the world. He's pissed off at everything that's going on around him, instead of being fulfilled in and of itself and being fulfilled from the inside. And so they'll start taking energy from the anger that they have for the world itself. And it's the guy that comes home and he yells at his wife because something's not perfect about the house. It's the guy that comes home and he's just pissed off at the world, you can tell. We want to make sure we avoid these weaknesses. They will take control of our lives if we're not careful. Being grateful and fulfilled of everything around us, making sure that we, as a cup, we're full, embracing every single moment. And of course, you're gonna let some slip now here and there, some time slip, but trying as much as we can to embrace as much as we can while we're here, because soon enough you'll be gone and probably forgotten. Doing what we can to pass down our ideals, our thoughts, our traditions, to defend what we think is right, and to embrace everything that we have around us. I think that's a very important part of being a strong man. And so I think we really need to apply all these principles within our lives as men, because there are principles that are starting to fade away and be forgotten. And ultimately, we are seeing the way social media is distracting us, video games are distracting us, and we're seeing all the ways that we could be taken away from our true mission and our true purpose as men. And so we need to keep these ideas and principles strong within our minds, because otherwise it's going to lead to unfulfilling lives. It's going to lead to more violence and less gratitude and gratefulness and honor. And so these are core values that we need to remember, that we need to keep around and stick around. My name's Justin, and remember, you deserve the consequences of your actions.